now we got the Tour Championship.
Yep.
Top 30 in the FedEx Cup make it to East Lake. And this is now the 4th year where they've done this tiered scoring, which to explain, I'll basically, let me tell everyone where everyone's at for going into the week. But basically, based on how you finish in years past, it was just, hey, the top 5, if you win, you get the Tour Championship. And then based on a few other things, depending on where people finish, you could end up winning the FedEx Cup. Where now, what they did, and it was basically after the year Tiger Woods had won the Tour Championship, but Justin Rose won the FedEx Cup. They made it, hey, if you win the Tour Championship, you win the FedEx Cup. Yeah. And so players are going to start at different relation to par than others. And so Scotty Scheffler will start at 10 under because he's first. Cantlay 8 under. Zalatoris 7 under. Schauffele 6 under. Sam Burns 5 under. Then at 4 under, you have Cam Smith, Rory McIlroy, Tony Finau, Sepp Straka, and Sungjae Im. 3 unders, Rahm, Stallings, Thomas, Cam Young, and Fitzpatrick. 2 under, Homa, Matsuyama, Spieth, Neiman, Hovland. 1 under, Morikawa, Horschel, Hoagie, Connors, Harmon. And then at even par, KH Lee, JT Poston, Sahith Theegala, Adam Scott, and Aaron Wise.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're starting 10 shots back going into the week. But there's only 5 guys who really start way ahead, and then it gets pretty condensed. Now, I did do some research, and this is now the 4th year of doing it. 2 of the 3 years, the guy who was leading, starting at 10 under, has won.
Yeah.
The other time was Rory when he started at 5 under that week. So, obviously a big advantage. And with a guy like Scotty Scheffler, who was going to go shoot a probably solid 2-3 under every round, it's going to be hard to catch him.
Right.
But I want to know your opinions and thoughts on the handicapped scoring for the Tour Championship. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
So personally, I like it. And I know people said, well, it's not the same as playing every other tournament, which is, I think that's fine. It's the playoffs.
Right,
it's meant to be different, right? The 1 seed in the NFL gets a bye.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's supposed to be a little bit easier for you, but at the same time it is. There should be a reward for playing great golf throughout the season. And that's kind of what it is. And I hate to bring NASCAR back into this too much, but I grew up a NASCAR fan, and their new playoff system's kind of very similar to some degree. You get to the final race of a season, and it's the final 4, and you have to win to essentially get the championship.
In those races, they have other people race, and just the only 4. Okay, I just want to make sure.
And it's very rare that you get back in the day. You used to have the winner of the race, and it was very similar to the Tour Championship. The guy who won the Tour Championship that we saw with Tiger would kind of be out there celebrating while Justin Rose is celebrating too. So it's a little bit weird. Same thing in NASCAR. You'd have 2 cars doing burnouts and stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think the reason they did this was it was hey, what this is going to do is basically you had to keep track of 2 different things. And now it's no, we know where everyone's at. I love it. I'm with you. Look, for world ranking points and everything, they base it strictly on your actual aggregate score to par. They don't say, oh, Scotty Scheffler starts at 10 under, so if he finished 3rd place, they give the world ranking points based on how you finish, which I think that's good.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about a bonus amount of cash and a guy who clearly has had the best season in Scotty Scheffler, you'd say, Cam Smith's another guy who's up there, but Scotty Scheffler's had the best season. He's had pretty good playoffs. He deserves to be first in the FedEx Cup.
Agreed.
And so there should be an advantage other than hey, all 30 now, whoever wins. I love this format. Is it a real golf tournament? No. Not everything has to be a real golf tournament. That's my whole problem. And I like how we both agree, surprisingly. I could try to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But because I know people who hate it.
Yeah, well, they did this for a consumer, too. It's the PGA Tour took into account is, even when you watched, I remember Tiger winning at East Lake, and it was a big deal, right? Everybody was watching because it's going to be his first win in years, and after everything with his back. But they had to keep reading off where the standings, and it's almost next to impossible to follow along of where everybody's at. If doing it this way, it makes it easier on the consumer. It makes it easier on everybody else involved. So and people are like, well, a two shot lead over Cam Young, that's not, or Cam Smith, excuse me, that's not
it's Cam Smith's 4 under, but Cantlay
excuse me, that's not a real advantage. 2 shots on the PGA Tour is actually a huge advantage. So.
Yeah, I would say in 2 ways. It's a big advantage. The guys who are at even compared to 10 under, that's 2.5 shots you got to make up a round. You got to make a half shot a round.
Right.
And look, your whole goal is to just be in contention. I think the one concern with this, if we're watching on TV, is if Scotty Scheffler goes and shoots 67, odds are he's probably going to have a relatively large lead. But again, maybe we can talk about later in the year of different formats we can come up with, and I can come up with some stupid ass creative shit that people are going to complain about hockey nets in the fairway again and say they lost all value in this podcast. But I just think when you're trying to settle who had the best season and make it somewhat of a competitive tournament, but also reward the player who had the best year and has had a pretty good playoffs. This is a great format for it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And because it's not a pure golf tournament, look, we get 50 or something of them, 49 of them throughout the freaking year.
Yeah.
I'm fine with something being a little different.
Yeah, I agree too. And I wouldn't even, everyone's getting paid in the Tour Championship too. I'll have to look out what
I have the payouts.
What the purse is. So I mean, it's everyone's getting rewarded.
30th place gets $500,000.
Yeah, not bad.
The winner gets 18 mil. 10th place gets $1 million.
Yeah.
So, and then everything from 11th to 30th is like 950, and there's some tiers.
Right. So everyone's getting rewarded for being there.
Yeah. So I mean, look, here's the one thing we want to avoid is if Scotty Scheffler goes and tears it up, but hey, then he earned it. Doesn't make great for TV. No, but I agree with you. Like PGA Tour said, so many people watch this and are like, what the fuck's going on? Well, now it's pretty easy to see.
Yeah.
So
it's very self-explanatory. Yeah. Like the announcers don't have to spend half the broadcast trying to explain where the points
we can
are
watch shots.
You know what? Here's something that it actually popped into my head 20 minutes ago while we were sitting here. How I think this would be another cool spin on the playoffs if they wanted to revamp it. I don't know if they will. I think it's fine as is. But another twist you could do is make it a true playoffs. Like after the East Lake, you get the top 16 players, and then you go do a match play.
Yeah, I like that. I think that'd be cool too. I just think it's so match play so variable for 18 holes. Again, Scotty Scheffler could have a great year. He could go shoot 67 in a match and play KH Lee, who shoots 65 that day.
Yeah.
And now he's eliminated. So that's the hard part to it.
Right.
I don't know if you want to do a best of series or there's a bunch of different ways.
Game 7.
Yeah,
that would be.
Maybe we brainstorm. I could come up with some stupid ideas.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any ideas out of the realm right now because of the situation going on with Liv.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they need a council of ideas, sign me up. I want in on that.
I'm
board.
with you. Tiger should be calling us up.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiger, we want to be on that committee.
Yeah, we need to be in the meeting.